Welcome back to our channel Numismatics World HD. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1984 USA 1-cent coin, also known as the penny, may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, one that's often taken for granted or tossed aside. However, like many coins in the world of numismatics, the 1984 penny has a fascinating story to tell. This small coin, valued at just 1 cent, has played a pivotal role in American history and has even captivated collectors for decades. From its historical context to its design, minting process, rare varieties, and eventual collector appeal, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. Let's begin by delving into the rich history of the 1-cent coin. The penny, in its various forms, has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency since the early days of the nation. The first U.S. 1-cent coin was issued in 1793, during the infancy of the U.S. Mint, and featured a design with the image of Lady Liberty. Since then, the penny has undergone numerous design changes, with each new iteration reflecting the changing times and values of American society. The coin's design history is marked by iconic figures such as Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, and Abraham Lincoln, with each coin symbolizing a different chapter in the nation's evolution. The 1984 penny, however, was part of a series of coins that remained relatively unchanged for decades, carrying with it the legacy of one of America's most beloved leaders, Abraham Lincoln. The design of the 1984 penny is a direct continuation of the famous Lincoln cent, which was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln cent features a portrait of the 16th President of the United States on the obverse, with the reverse design showcasing a simple yet powerful image of the Lincoln Memorial. Over the years, the Lincoln cent became synonymous with the idea of the American penny and remains one of the most recognized and enduring coin designs in U.S. history. In 1984, the penny was struck with the same design that had been in use since 1959, when the Lincoln Memorial was chosen as the reverse. The obverse of the 1984 penny shows Lincoln's profile, with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty, and the Year of Minting." The reverse side displays the Lincoln Memorial, with the words, E Pluribus Unum, and United States of America, along with the denomination, 1 cent. The design itself is simple but effective, with clean lines and a sense of dignity that reflects the significance of Abraham Lincoln's legacy. For decades, the image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse of the penny became iconic, symbolizing the ideals of the nation and the memory of a leader who played a crucial role in preserving the Union during the Civil War. While the 1984 penny may seem straightforward in its design, there are certain aspects of the coin's history and minting process that add depth to its story. The coin's composition in 1984 was made of copper-plated zinc, a standard mix used for the penny since 1982. The U.S. Mint had switched from a solid copper composition to this copper-plated zinc alloy in response to rising copper prices, which had made it increasingly expensive to produce the 1-cent coin. The minting process itself, as with all U.S. coins, involved the striking of planchets, metal discs, with dies that carried the design of the coin. The U.S. Mint struck millions of 1984 pennies, with the majority of them being produced at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. These coins were distributed to banks and circulation centers, where they would go on to circulate across the country, ending up in the pockets of everyday Americans. For most people, the 1984 penny was just another coin used for small transactions, a low-value denomination that didn't attract much attention. However, for collectors and numismatists, the 1984 penny held a certain appeal. Over the years, collectors have focused on finding coins in pristine condition, with an eye for subtle variations that make certain examples more valuable than others. One key factor that drives the value of a coin like the 1984 penny is its condition. In the world of coin collecting, the condition of a coin is often described using a grading scale, with coins ranging from poor condition, with significant wear and damage, to perfect, uncirculated specimens, which show no signs of handling. The value of a coin is directly tied to its grade. Generally, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. While most 1984 pennies are still in circulation today and are worth just 1 cent, coins that have been well preserved and are in mint or near mint condition can fetch a much higher price. Coins that have been kept in sealed packaging or stored carefully over the years are more likely to retain their original luster, which makes them more attractive to collectors. Some 1984 pennies have been graded as high as MS 67 or MS 68, mint state, meaning that they have few to no signs of wear and retain their original brilliance. In addition to the value added by condition, certain rare variations of the 1984 penny have caught the attention of collectors. For example, the 1984 penny was struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from these two mints can vary slightly in appearance due to differences in die quality, die wear, and minting processes. As a result, some 1984 pennies from one mint may be rarer or more valuable than those from another mint. Perhaps the most famous and valuable variety of the 1984 penny, however, is the 1984 double die obverse. This error occurs when the dies used to strike the coins are misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck onto the coin twice. The result is a coin with a doubling effect, especially noticeable on the date and lettering. The 1984 double die obverse penny has become one of the most sought-after varieties among collectors, with well-preserved examples fetching high prices at auction. In some cases, these rare error coins have sold for thousands of dollars, far exceeding the value of a typical 1984 penny. Another notable feature that has made the 1984 penny appealing to collectors is the potential for die cracks, which occur when the dies used to strike the coins develop cracks due to wear and tear. These cracks often appear as lines or breaks in the design of the coin, and while they are considered imperfections by some, they can actually increase a coin's rarity and desirability among collectors. Die cracks are relatively common in coins that have been in circulation for a long time, but certain examples of 1984 pennies with prominent die cracks have become highly valuable due to their uniqueness. As we move into the present day, the appeal of the 1984 penny continues to grow. While most 1984 pennies are still worth just 1 cent, the rare error varieties, especially the double die obverse, are highly sought after by serious collectors. These rare pennies have become some of the most valuable and coveted coins in the world of numismatics. Today, a well-preserved 1984 penny with a rare error can fetch an impressive price at auction. The most valuable examples of the 1984 penny, particularly those with the double die obverse, have sold for as much as $120,000. While these high prices may seem extraordinary for a coin that originally had such a modest face value, they reflect the rarity and demand for these exceptional specimens. In the world of coin collecting, errors and unique features are prized, and a 1984 penny with a double die obverse is a prime example of this. So, how did a penny, which was originally worth just 1 cent, become a coin that can fetch $120,000? The answer lies in the rarity, demand, and condition of the coin. Coins that exhibit rare errors, like the double die obverse or prominent die cracks, stand out from the rest of the coins produced in 1984. These unique and collectible examples are the ones that drive up the value of the coin, making them highly sought after by numismatists and collectors alike. In conclusion, the 1984 USA 1-cent coin, while seemingly ordinary at first glance, carries with it a fascinating story and holds significant value for collectors. From its historical context and enduring design to the rare minting errors that have made certain 1984 pennies so valuable, this small coin is much more than meets the eye. So, the next time you come across a 1984 penny in your pocket change, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just have a rare and valuable piece of American history in your hands, one that could be worth far more than its face value. The 2000 USA 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the penny, may appear to be just another ordinary piece of currency, perhaps dismissed as insignificant in the eyes of many. However, in the world of numismatics, this seemingly humble coin tells a captivating story, one that connects the past with the present, reflecting both the evolution of U.S. currency and the fascination that collectors have with even the most common coins. The 2000 penny, while initially worth only 1 cent, holds much more than its face value, especially for collectors who seek rare and remarkable examples. To understand why the 2000 penny holds such a compelling place in the world of coin collecting, we must first look at the history of the U.S. 1-cent coin. The penny has a long and storied past, dating back to the early years of the United States. The first 1-cent coin was introduced in 1793, featuring the image of Lady Liberty. Over the years, the penny has gone through numerous design changes, often reflecting the political and social climate of the times. The coin has served as a symbol of American identity and pride, and it has witnessed significant milestones in the nation's history. By the year 2000, the U.S. 1-cent coin had undergone many transformations. The most significant and enduring design change came in 1909 when the Lincoln cent was first issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin featured a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that would continue to adorn the penny for decades to come. This design, created by engraver Victor David Brenner, became one of the most iconic and recognized coin designs in the world, lasting for more than half a century. The 2000 penny, just like the ones that had come before it, retained the same basic design elements. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's profile, facing to the right, with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty, and the Year of Minting." The reverse side displays the Lincoln Memorial, with the inscription, E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and the denomination, 1 cent. These elements remained unchanged in 2000, with the design continuing to reflect the image of Lincoln's leadership and the ideals of the United States. While the overall design remained consistent, the 2000 penny marked a year of particular interest due to a special variety of the coin that was produced during that year. In fact, one of the most famous aspects of the 2000 penny is the existence of the 2000 wide AM variety, an error coin that has since become a prized treasure for collectors. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to delve deeper into the minting process and examine the factors that led to the creation of this error. The U.S. Mint produces coins by using dies, which are metal tools with a design engraved on them. The dies are used to strike planchets, or metal blanks, to create coins. In 2000, during the production of the Lincoln cent, some of the dies used to strike the pennies were mistakenly created with a wider than usual space between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. This error, known as the wide AM, was the result of a slight misalignment or defect in the die. While this error was relatively small, it led to the creation of a small number of coins that were produced with a noticeable gap between the A and M. Typically, the 2000 penny would have the letters A and M in the word America positioned closely together, but due to this minting defect, some coins feature a noticeable gap between them. This variation immediately caught the attention of collectors, who realized that it was an unusual and rare error. Coins with the wide AM variety are highly sought after, as they are much scarcer than the standard 2000 penny. The 2000 wide AM penny has become a symbol of the fascinating world of error coins, where small mistakes can lead to significant increases in value. As with many rare varieties, the value of the 2000 wide AM penny has skyrocketed in recent years, with certain examples fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As a result, collectors have scoured through their collections, searching for these elusive coins, which have become one of the most desirable finds in the world of modern U.S. coinage. Of course, not all 2000 pennies are the wide AM variety. The majority of 2000 pennies were struck with the standard design, with the letters A and M in America closely spaced. However, even these coins hold a certain appeal for collectors, as they represent a part of the overall history of American coinage. The 2000 penny, like all U.S. coins, serves as a piece of history in its own right, and many collectors take an interest in acquiring examples in pristine condition. Coin collectors use a grading system to evaluate the condition of coins, and the 2000 penny is no exception. The grade of a coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. Coins that are in excellent condition, free of wear and scratches, are considered to be in uncirculated condition and are generally more valuable than coins that have been heavily circulated. A penny that has been kept in pristine condition, without any noticeable wear or damage, is more likely to fetch a higher price at auction, especially when the coin is rare or has a special feature, like the wide AM variety. The 2000 penny also reflects a unique point in American history. It was minted during a time when the country was on the cusp of the new millennium, a time of cultural and technological change. The year 2000 marked the end of the 20th century and the dawn of the 21st century, a period of transition for the United States. This sense of turning the page on a new chapter in history is reflected in the coins of the time, including the 2000 penny. In the world of numismatics, it's not only the rarity of the coin that drives its value, but also the context in which it was produced. The 2000 penny represents a moment in time, a piece of currency that was used by millions of Americans during an era of economic growth and technological advancement. The coins of this era may be small in value, but they are large in their historical significance. Every penny minted is a reflection of the values and ideals of the country, and the 2000 penny is no exception. Now, let's return to the big question: just how much is the 2000 penny worth today? While the vast majority of 2000 pennies are worth only 1 cent, the rare wide AM variety is a different story. In excellent condition, these error coins can be worth thousands of dollars. In fact, some well-preserved examples of the 2000 wide AM penny have sold for up to $110,000 at auction, depending on their condition and rarity. The high demand for these error coins has driven their value up significantly, making them one of the most sought-after modern U.S. coins among collectors. So, what makes the 2000 wide AM penny so valuable? The answer lies in its rarity. While millions of 2000 pennies were struck, only a small number of them feature the wide AM error. This makes them a highly coveted find for collectors who specialize in error coins. The value of the 2000 wide AM penny is also influenced by its condition. Coins that are graded at higher levels, such as MS-67 or MS-68, mint state, can command even higher prices. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand has made the 2000 wide AM penny one of the most valuable modern coins in the world. In conclusion, the 2000 USA 1 cent coin may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, but for collectors, it holds immense value and significance. The 2000 penny, particularly the rare wide AM variety, has become a prized treasure in the world of numismatics, with certain examples fetching impressive sums at auction. Whether it's the error variety, the coin's historical context, or its enduring design, the 2000 penny serves as a reminder that even the most humble coins can hold great worth. So, the next time you come across a 2000 penny, take a closer look. You might just have a valuable piece of American history in your hands, one worth far more than its face value. The 1979 USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, is one of those coins that might seem rather ordinary at first glance, but as with many seemingly insignificant pieces of currency, it holds a fascinating story filled with history, design, and valuable surprises. The 1979 nickel may not have the same storied legacy as some other coins, like the iconic Lincoln cent, but its journey through the minting process and into the hands of collectors has been anything but ordinary. From its historical context to its design features, and most importantly, its potential value in the world of numismatics, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts alike. The history of the 5-cent coin, or nickel, dates back to the 19th century, with the first version of the coin being introduced in 1866. It was designed by the engraver James B. Longacre and featured a portrait of the Indian head on the obverse, while the reverse displayed a shield with 5 vertical stripes. The coin was intended to replace the half-dime, which had become less useful due to inflation. It was made of a copper-nickel alloy and initially struck in a 75% copper, 25% nickel composition, which is the basis for its distinctive appearance. However, over the years, the design of the nickel has undergone several important changes. In 1938, the familiar Jefferson nickel design was introduced, featuring a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag. The reverse side of the coin featured Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, reflecting his legacy and contributions to the United States. This design would become a staple of the U.S. nickel for decades, and it remained largely unchanged until the 1970s. By 1979, the U.S. Mint had already been producing the Jefferson nickel for over 40 years, but significant changes in the coin's production and design were on the horizon. The 1979 nickel would mark the end of an era for this design, and the coin would soon be overshadowed by another monumental shift in U.S. coinage that would take place in the years to come. But in 1979, it was still a coin that carried with it a sense of tradition and history, even as it entered a new era of minting. The most notable feature of the 1979 nickel was the continuation of the iconic Jefferson portrait, with a few subtle updates to enhance the engraving and the details of the image. The design remained faithful to the original 1938 model but was slightly adjusted to better match the contemporary style of coin engraving. Jefferson's face is depicted in profile, with his signature distinctive nose and chin, making him easily recognizable. The coin's reverse side, which features Monticello, was also updated, with sharper lines and a cleaner design that highlighted the building's architectural details. While the 1979 nickel may seem like an ordinary coin in terms of its design, it's important to note that it was also part of a larger pattern of changes occurring in the U.S. Mint during that time. In the late 1970s, there was increasing concern about the rising cost of minting coins, especially with inflation and rising metal prices. As a result, the U.S. Mint began looking at alternative ways to produce coins that were cost-effective while still maintaining the integrity of the nation's currency. By the time the 1979 nickel was produced, the composition of the coin had already changed several times over the years. The original Indian head nickel was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, but the coins produced in the 20th century were made with a slightly different metal composition, specifically a mix of 25% nickel and 75% copper. This change was implemented to help reduce costs and increase production efficiency. The change in the composition of the nickel is significant because it impacted not just the appearance of the coin but also its durability and overall wear over time. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1979 nickel is the series of rare variations and minting errors that have been discovered among the coins. While most of these variations are relatively subtle, they hold significant value for collectors. One such variation that is particularly prized by numismatists is the 1979 double die obverse variety. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coins misaligns during the minting process, resulting in a doubled image on the obverse side of the coin. The most noticeable feature of this variety is the doubled lettering and the doubling of Jefferson's portrait, making it stand out among other examples of the 1979 nickel. The double die obverse variety is rare, and it has become a highly sought-after coin among collectors. The value of this coin can vary depending on its condition, but examples in higher grades can command significant premiums at auction. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher can fetch prices well above their face value, sometimes reaching into the thousands of dollars. Collectors who specialize in error coins or those who have an eye for details are particularly eager to find examples of the 1979 double die obverse, as it represents one of the more dramatic and visually interesting errors in modern U.S. coinage. While the double die obverse is one of the most well-known errors associated with the 1979 nickel, it's not the only variation that collectors should keep an eye out for. There are also subtle variations in the minting process, such as differences in the position of the mint mark or slight differences in the design details, that can add to the rarity and appeal of the coin. These variations, while not always as dramatic as the double die obverse, can still significantly increase the coin's value, especially if the variations are rare enough to be considered part of a small group of minting anomalies. As for the standard 1979 nickel, it remains a relatively common coin that is still found in circulation today. However, like many coins from the late 20th century, it holds a certain nostalgic value for collectors who appreciate the historical significance of U.S. currency. Coins from this era represent a snapshot of the country's economic and political climate, and for those who collect coins for their historical value, the 1979 nickel is an important piece of the larger puzzle of American numismatics. While most 1979 nickels are worth only 5 cents, the rare era varieties can be worth much more. The value of these coins is influenced by several factors, including the rarity of the era, the condition of the coin, and the overall demand among collectors. A 1979 double-die obverse nickel in excellent condition can easily fetch thousands of dollars at auction, and in some cases, the price can reach as high as $110,000, depending on the coin's grade and provenance. This price reflects the rarity of the era and the high demand from collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for a well-preserved example. In conclusion, the 1979 USA 5-cent coin, while seemingly simple and unassuming, is much more than meets the eye. It is a piece of American history that holds a unique place in the world of coin collecting. From its role in the larger context of U.S. coinage to the rare and valuable errors that make it so desirable to collectors, the 1979 nickel is a coin that offers something for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a novice just beginning your numismatic journey, the 1979 5-cent coin is a reminder that even the most common coins can hold extraordinary value. So, the next time you encounter a 1979 nickel, take a closer look. You may just have a hidden treasure in your hands, one that could be worth far more than its 5-cent face value. The 2003 USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, is a seemingly simple piece of currency, but its history and significance are anything but ordinary. While most of us might pass a nickel without a second thought, these small coins have long been part of American life, and the 2003 nickel is no exception. The coin not only reflects the economic landscape of the time but also carries with it a story of change, design, and a few rare surprises that have captured the attention of collectors across the world. The history of the nickel in the United States stretches back to 1866, when the first 5-cent coin was introduced. This early version of the nickel was designed by James B. Longacre, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and featured a depiction of a liberty head on the obverse, while the reverse featured a shield with 5 vertical stripes. This design, though simple, marked a pivotal moment in American currency, replacing the half-dime and becoming the country's first 5-cent piece. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the nickel had gone through several major design changes. In 1938, the well-known Jefferson nickel design was introduced, created by artist Felix Schlag. It featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, while the reverse depicted Monticello, his Virginia estate. This design would remain unchanged for decades, becoming one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. By the time the 2003 nickel was minted, the U.S. Mint had been producing the Jefferson nickel for nearly 65 years. The 2003 coin was a continuation of this design, but it was also part of a larger trend in the world of numismatics, the desire to honor American history and heritage through unique and commemorative coinage. While the 2003 nickel did not have a radically different design, it was produced during an interesting period in U.S. history and numismatics, as the country faced challenges both domestically and internationally. The year 2003 was a time of political and economic change, following the events of September 11, 2001, and the ensuing War on Terror. Domestically, the U.S. economy was recovering from a mild recession, and the country was dealing with an increasingly globalized market. The coins minted in this time period reflect these shifts in some ways, though the 2003 nickel retained much of the familiar design that had come to symbolize stability and continuity in the nation's coinage. It was made from the same composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel as the Jefferson nickels that had been minted for decades, ensuring that the coin looked and felt familiar to Americans. However, the 2003 nickel also had a unique place in the broader context of American coinage. At the time, there was increasing pressure to address the rising cost of producing coins, especially as inflation and metal prices continued to climb. The minting of coins like the 2003 nickel faced challenges, as the U.S. Mint worked to find ways to produce currency that was both cost-effective and durable. As a result, the minting process of the 2003 nickel was somewhat refined to ensure a smooth and efficient production. The design of the 2003 nickel maintained the traditional features of the Jefferson nickel. The obverse side of the coin depicted a portrait of Thomas Jefferson in profile, based on a famous painting by Rembrandt Peale. Jefferson's face is rendered in fine detail, with distinctive features such as his long nose and prominent chin. Surrounding the portrait are the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as the minting year, 2003. The reverse side of the 2003 nickel showed Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home. The building is depicted in full, with a clean and detailed representation of the neoclassical structure. Above Monticello is the inscription Monticello, while below is the denomination 5 cents. The reverse design also includes the mint mark, which indicates the location where the coin was minted, and the inscription E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. While the 2003 nickel may appear to be a typical example of the long-standing Jefferson nickel design, there are a few subtle details that make this coin stand out in the world of numismatics. For instance, one of the most notable features of the 2003 series of nickels is that it was part of the final batch of Jefferson nickels produced before a significant redesign took place in 2004. This means that the 2003 nickel marks the end of an era for this particular design and serves as a reminder of the coin's long history in American currency. In addition to its historical context, the 2003 nickel also holds appeal for collectors due to its potential for errors and variations. Like many coins, the 2003 nickel saw some interesting minting errors that have made it a more valuable and sought-after piece for numismatists. One of the most famous errors associated with the 2003 nickel is the double die variety, which occurs when the die used to strike the coins is misaligned, leading to a doubling of the design elements. This error is particularly noticeable on the obverse, where the word "Liberty" and other details of Jefferson's portrait appear doubled. Another variation of the 2003 nickel that has caught the attention of collectors is the full steps variety. The reverse side of the coin features Monticello, and certain versions of the 2003 nickel display a highly detailed, sharp image of the building steps. Coins with a complete, well-defined set of steps are considered more valuable and are highly coveted by collectors. The full steps variety is particularly significant because it represents a high standard of minting quality, and coins that exhibit this feature in excellent condition can fetch higher prices on the market. While the 2003 nickel is still a relatively common coin, the error varieties and high-quality examples of this coin have significant appeal to collectors, especially those who specialize in collecting varieties and minting errors. In fact, some of these error coins, particularly the double die and full steps varieties, have been known to sell for several $1,000s, depending on their condition and rarity. In some cases, they have fetched as much as $92,000 in auctions, making them a highly prized addition to any numismatic collection. For collectors who are passionate about American coinage, the 2003 nickel offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of U.S. currency. While the coin may seem ordinary at first, its design, historical context, and potential for rare errors make it a unique and valuable item in the world of coin collecting. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, the 2003 nickel represents a significant piece of American history that continues to captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike. In conclusion, the 2003 USA 5-cent coin is much more than just a piece of currency. It reflects the traditions and values of the United States, while also offering collectors a glimpse into the ever-changing world of coin production and design. The coin's place in history, coupled with its potential for valuable errors and variations, makes it a highly sought-after item in the numismatic world. So the next time you find a 2003 nickel in your pocket, take a moment to appreciate its rich history, and remember that it might be worth far more than just 5 cents, perhaps even as much as $92,000, depending on the rarity and condition of the coin.